It is tax day, everybody. So you know how bad the Democrats raised your taxes. God, it's got to hurt today because they love to tax and spend. I'll tell you what, probably all of you felt the pain today as your taxes went through the roof. Well, CBS News New York Times poll asked people, and 24% of them said that their taxes had increased under Obama. 53% of them said, well, look, actually, it remained about the same. And only 12% thought their taxes had gone down. Okay? So the perception is it's either stayed about the same or it's gone up. Only 12% think it went down. And furthermore, if you ask the Tea Party activists in a separate poll, we find out that 64% of them think the administration has raised their taxes. Now, you want to know the reality? According to the nonpartisan tax organization called Citizens for Tax Justice, 98% of working families got a tax cut from the Obama administration. Yes, tax cut. 98% of working families. So only 12% believe they got the tax cut. In reality, 98% of them got it. 24% are like, oh, it's obvious. 64% of the teabaggers, oh my God, oh, I paid more taxes. But did you actually pay more taxes? No, you paid less taxes. But who cares? Fox News told them they paid more taxes. So that's what they pay attention to. They don't actually pay attention to the check that they sign to the IRS or however they pay their taxes, property tax, etc. You know, those are all different, of course. They pay attention to what Fox News tells them. Now, one of the things that Fox News told them, speaking of property taxes, you know 47% of Americans don't pay any taxes at all. Did you know that? Now, of course, that's not true. Those don't pay federal income tax. You still pay state and local tax. You still say some people pay property tax. Everybody pays sales tax. And you get your deductions off your paycheck. And that's where a lot of the problem comes in, because what the Obama team is now realizing is, oh my God, you know, Bush did the thing of, oh, here's a $600 check. And the guy's like, oh my God, Bush gave me a tax cut. What Obama has done is he's decreased your taxes so you're actually getting more back on your checks from work. But it's so incremental, it's hard for people to notice. So they don't notice that, understandably on that front. But they do notice Fox News and Rush Limbaugh telling them that they had to pay more taxes. So that's how this misinformation campaign works and is successful. That's why I tell the Democrats all the time, you got to make your case. If you don't make your case, how the hell are people going to know? Now, the reality is, so who did get tax increases? Because some people did. Because remember, he's saying we're going to roll back the Bush tax cuts for people making over couples making over $250,000 and individuals making over $200,000. So what happened to them? Oh, well, like if you listen to Fox News, we ran a Laura Ingraham clip a couple of days ago where she's like, oh, not everybody can sit in the wagon. Somebody's got to pull the wagon. What about the poor rich people? In fact, we played many clips like that from all the conservative hosts for you guys. Well, here is the draconian tax increases for the richest people in the country. The top two income tax brackets go up from 33% to 36%. Ooh. And from 35% to 39.6%. Now, that is exactly where they were under Bill Clinton. And remember, they said, oh, if you increase taxes like Clinton did, it'll destroy the economy. Except for the fact that our economy has never been better than when Bill Clinton was president in the 1990s. Now, look, there's a lot of reasons why you might say that's the case, and that's an interesting economic argument. But you can't say that Clinton tanked the economy with his tax cuts. That's not even remote, with his tax increases. That's not even remotely true. So if we go back to the Clinton levels, that worked, okay? And they're not draconian. They're, as you can tell, 3% increase in one case, and for the top bracket, a 4.6% increase. Now, there are two other increases. One is increasing the capital gains tax from 15 to 20% for married filers with incomes above $250,000. Understand that for a second. If you work your ass off at your job and they deduct the taxes from your pay and then you got to pay the IRS, etc., you're paying a certain tax rate. Now, it could be 25%. It could be, if you're in the upper brackets, 39.6%, etc. It varies, right, depending on where your income is. But if you don't do anything, you're Paris Hilton and you're just getting money from your grandfather's estate, and that money's in stocks, and you just get capital gains, she only pays 15%, even though she doesn't do anything. It's capital gains, only 15%. To me, that's grotesque and totally unjustifiable. Now, Obama's moved that from 15% to 20% for people making above $250,000. Oh, draconian socialism, communism, Maoism. And then same exact thing for dividend income between it going up from 15% to 20% for filers above $250,000. Okay, so those are your real tax increases, and therefore people making above $250,000 on very specific things that I think are very small and understandably so. Okay, now, by the way, how about the average? How about all of us, including the rich, right? You put it all together, the average family of four right now is paying a comically low 4.6% of its income in federal income tax. That's it, 4.6%. Now, again, there are other taxes, sales tax, property tax, etc., right? State and local. But as far as this, oh my God, the burden, as Steve King says, they got the thumb on our back. IRS, federal income tax, 4.6% of your income for an average family of four. That's what all this belly aching is about? In fact, actually, that's another amazing thing. They did another poll, and they asked people, do you think what you're paying is too high, fair? It was the American Enterprise Institute. They're a very conservative group, so they were hoping that they'd get results like, oh, totally unfair. You know what they had? Majority of Americans said, no, I'm paying about the right amount. No, I'm not overpaying. No, this seems fair. Okay, but you know why? Because it's not that much. How do I know? It's the second lowest we've ever had in 50 years. These are facts. You can't argue with these unless you're Fox News, then you make up something else. Okay, but go look them up for yourself online. Okay, so we're not paying too much taxes. Obama didn't raise your taxes. He lowered taxes for 98% of us. So that's what's happening on tax day. Now, tune into Fox News and the Tea Party protests and see if that's what you hear. My guess is they're not going to concentrate on those facts. They're going to tell you other things that aren't even remotely true, and we'll cover those tomorrow.